Well, the U.S.-led coalition has unleashed 9 new airstrikes on ISIS targets in Iraq and Syria. That does not seem to be stopping the ISIS terrorists from advancing. In Syria, there were more clashes early this morning in the besieged town of Kobani, which is on the Turkish border. A fighter tells CNN that the town now is strangely quiet, and that in and of itself is sparking fears that ISIS is, quote, preparing something. To the south, there have been deadly explosions in parts of Iraq. One of the blasts killed the Anbar police chief. It is not clear whether ISIS is responsible, but the terror group is tightening its grip on Anbar province. The province's leaders are pleading for U.S. ground troops to defend it against ISIS. The White House, however, insists that Iraqi forces can defend the Iraqi capital, which is right nearby. Well, CNN senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann, he is in Baghdad. And Ben, there have been a series of bombs in Baghdad this weekend. You have talked in the past about sleeper cells. Despite all of this, the White House is saying that there really isn't any concern about ISIS and any sort of march to Baghdad.
Well, Deborah, I think what they're saying is that there's no worry about a frontal assault on Baghdad. The idea that, for instance, that ISIS could take Baghdad along the lines they did in Mosul in June, the administration thinks is unlikely. And here on the ground, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening anytime soon. Not just because of the fact that ISIS doesn't really have a lot of forces in the Baghdad area, but Baghdad's a huge city populated by mostly Shia who hate ISIS. And in addition, despite the weaknesses of the Iraqi army, which have been on vivid display now for several months, there are other players involved. Tens of thousands of Shia volunteers have been trained and armed to protect the capital and other Shia holy areas and cities. Iran definitely would not like to see Baghdad falling to ISIS as well. The United States is carrying out regular airstrikes on ISIS in Anbar province. There are American advisors advising Iraqi troops on the western perimeter of Baghdad. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But certainly the problem, of course, is these bombs that are going off on a regular basis. Last night, more than 40 people were killed in twin car bombings. Today, not in Baghdad, but not far from it, another triple bombing as well. So that seems to be what worries Iraqi security officials the most. Deborah?
Yeah, incredibly unsettling. And clearly, ISIS still has plans, and they've taken over now about 80% of Anbar province.